Now to Decision 2025. Pennsylvania's primary election is in the books, and Larry Krasner is the winner of the Democratic primary for district attorney in Philadelphia. Krasner received more than 60% of the votes compared to 36% for former municipal court judge Patrick Dugan. But the results of the races aren't the only thing people are talking about. Voter participation was low. The city commissioner says voter turnout was just more than 16%. And one watchdog group says that number is concerning. NBC 10's Lauren Mayk joins us live now in Mount Airy with more. Lauren?
Tracy, I'm in the northwest part of the city. This is actually one of the areas where voters tend to turn out. They have higher turnout than the rest of the city. That means that the voters in this area have a bigger influence over who gets elected and what happens in the city, especially when you're talking about turnout as low as we saw yesterday. When DA Larry Krasner showed up to vote Tuesday morning, he cast the first ballot at his polling site.
Well, I voted, and it turns out that at 7:00 something, I was the first vote of the day.
But across the city, votes after that just trickled in. Voters didn't show up, some saying the election outreach didn't reach them.
I didn't know it was an election. I didn't know what was going on. I just seen at the end the results.
We met Raheem Hassan in Germantown.
I vote because it's important. Like, I need to know what's going on. Because I'm directly affected with a lot of the voting, so I really like to know what's going on.
But this one?
This one, I didn't know. If I did, I would have voted.
Turnout across the city was lower than in the DA race 4 years ago, and low enough that Lauren Christella from Watchdog Group Committee of 70 is worried.
I think everyone should treat this as a canary in a coal mine of potentially bigger disinterest, apathy, lack of engagement in the future.
It also means that in Philadelphia, a small number of voters and voters in certain places are picking the city's leaders and making decisions for the rest of their neighbors.
There's a lot of different factors that go into that, whether it's they don't see themselves reflected in government, they don't have faith that government will work for them, versus people who've have a history and kind of generational history of advocating and seeing results in their community.
In Philadelphia, just 3 wards saw more than 26% turnout, the 15th in the Fairmount area and the 9th and 22nd in the northwest part of the city.
The mighty Northwest.
What is it about Northwest Philly that people just turn out?
You know what? Conscious voters, active communities, folks from the neighborhood who are just really engaged.
Councilmember Cindy Bass is the ward leader in the 22nd ward. And even though turnout in that ward was better than most others, she says election day was low energy and too quiet.
This is what an election day should not look like. There were not any sort of visible signs that an election was coming. Posters, lawn signs, candidates, campaign workers, field workers. All of that was missing.
Bass says the conversations are happening now about what to do for the next elections.
This cannot be the standard.
And we are talking about that 16% turnout. We're talking about everything, those who voted at the polls and people who turned in mail-in ballots. And Lauren Christella from Committee of 70 says we shouldn't just dismiss this as an off-year election when maybe people weren't paying attention. This is something that has been somewhat of a trend. Even in the presidential race last year, we saw a slight dip in turnout here in Philadelphia. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to talk a little bit more about what the impact of this lower turnout could have on future presidential races. Live in West Mount Airy, I'm Lauren Mayk, NBC 10 News.